You know the vibes. It's 94 feet of life. Big Shot, J Ham, Jern, MJ, Trav. We got a full starting five today. Remember, if you subscribe, if you're watching this, you should be subscribed. We ain't got to say that, but you definitely should. Tag a friend, tell a friend, notifications on. SCEN underscore THE is the Twitter. THE dot SCEN is the Instagram. 94 Feet
Got
of Life is the
starting
Facebook
five.
group. 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group. We here. It's Friday. We're going to talk about the early surprises in the league, the remnants of the Harden trade. What about the other teams? What's the impact on them? What about them? You know, it's not just about Brooklyn. And then we're going to bring in Jay Ham to lead the discussion on basketball Stockholm syndrome, something that I am 100% interested in. So, fellas, without further ado, man, I'm gonna just get to it. I'm gonna introduce my crew, and then I'm gonna let y'all give out your early season surprise. So, Jay Ham, who has surprised you early in this season? Player, team, coach, good, bad, good surprise, bad surprise. What you got?
Right here in the bluff, man. Even without superstar John Morant, even without the very promising Jaren Jackson Jr. and his 5 fouls per minute, even without the promise we have with Justice Winslow as well. These cats are one game under 500. They battle. They competing every night. They hadn't. There's no been like real case of getting blown out. They just hanging tough and fighting, and they continuing to grow as from a young team standpoint. And they're showing even in losses that they enjoy playing together. It's like, yo, let's go get another. Let's keep competing. Let's keep fighting. That's a
Right.
good thing to see.
Hey, Grizzlies have my new favorite player, my man Kyle Anderson. Hey, listen,
He's one of the reasons, though. He's one of
dog,
the reasons.
listen, man.
Slow mo.
Slow man. That's my guy. I don't
Yeah.
care if that man average 8, 9. I don't care what he get. It's gonna be an entertaining 9 a game because he
And we,
going 2 miles an hour all time, and it don't matter.
and we got my favorite hawker in the world, of course. He gonna let it fly. That's my
Oh
man,
yeah.
Dylan Brooks. Dylan
Oh,
Brooks got everybody
ODB.
in the city. He got everybody in the city ready to jump him, but he got another part of it like, hey man, let that fool keep shooting. That's what he paid for.
Hey,
Like roll with it.
MJ, I'm gonna swing this over to you for your surprise, but we've all played with a Dylan Brooks. He's not the most popular dude in the rec league, but you gotta pick him because he's good. But you don't really want to pick him. But
Nah. You know what? If when I usually get the Dylan Brooks of the world, I average about 8 rebounds a game because I know they ain't expecting me to sneak in because they don't know he gonna shoot it. I know he gonna shoot it. Anytime this dude drives to the basket, I'm in the corner. I'm already running back on defense. He ain't
yeah,
gonna kick it. He not gonna kick it. And the time that he do pass it, he the type to throw that 90-mile-per-hour pass and you 2 feet away from me, and then look at me like I'm the problem. I'm
that's
not the
Dylan.
problem, sir. I
That's
need you to
Dylan.
not be Randy Johnson when I'm 2 feet away from you. You can just drop it off. That's how I know you're not used to passing the ball. I know you ain't used to passing it because you throwing a whole bullet, and I am literally 2 steps away from you.
The if I was a if the Dylan Brooks experience is it's something else. The little I've seen of Memphis, boy, it's something. MJ, early season surprise.
So the early season surprise I have is Golden State with Draymond Green. So for those of you guys who have been under a rock, I train the game of basketball. As much as I love Steph Curry, as much as I love the superstars, I have a complete understanding that certain people God just did this to. He just sprinkled a little extra to, right? So because of that, I can't expect myself to make somebody into a Steph Curry. However, I can make anybody into a Draymond Green. And the beautiful thing about Draymond Green is everything that he does doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but you cannot be a better team without him.
Yeah.
And my whole mission is to create players that you cannot keep off the floor because they are fundamentally a better team with the players that I train. And I make sure they understand the fundamental things in basketball. One rule is it's one ball, 10 people. You do the math for people who are not slow at math, 10% of the time is you're going to have the ball. The other 90% you're not. What are you doing for the other 90%? Draymond Green, every screen he set is hard. Every time he crashes the boards, he's crashing it with two hands to get two hands on the ball. When he plays defense, he's vertical every time because he understands between the 3 to 10 foot, people are not hitting that contested shot. So all I have to do is stay in front and stay vertical. You're not going to call the foul on me because I didn't do anything wrong within the parameters of the rule book. Then turn around, block out. Now, because I have a skill set, because I work on my handles, I could actually push it up myself and allow my shooters to just fill, as opposed to being the traditional find the point guard and then run and go set screens. No, now I can initiate offense after I stop. See, these are things when he went to the press conference and said most people don't know shit about basketball. I felt that. That like really touched me. I felt it because I'm like, y'all really don't know.
Yeah, we get into the Brooklyn conversation. I feel like that phrase will come back.
Absolutely. And the Stockholm part too.
And the Stockholm part, which I'm interested in. Jerm, early season surprise.
I'm gonna name some players. I ain't gonna name no teams. Early season surprise for me is I see Brad Beal. I'm not surprised at what he's doing. I'm surprised at the numbers, the usage. He's finding his spots on the floor. He's efficient. He's effective. He's killing it. Like he's an assassin right now. Another person, LaMelo Ball. I'm not just saying that because he's my rookie. Yes, but after being no. This hey, look, here you go. This ain't a less moment right here. This ain't a less moment. I was out the less. But LaMelo has impressed me because going from where he came from overseas and all of the things he's been through, the game still looks the same and it looks even better on the NBA screen. Right. I ain't even gonna lie, it looks better.
It does.
It's a complete game. You see that like Les would say in his words, big guard energy. He rebounds it well. Everything he does just looks like it just looks better on the NBA floor. Just being honest.
Jerm, I agree with you. I didn't think he would. Now, obviously, we know rookie wall and all that stuff happened. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it looks easy.
But that's how you know a dude is a real hooper.
Yeah.
So now we can leave all of that other stuff alone. We can leave all that other stuff alone now.
Mm-hmm.
Because that goes into hey Ham, that goes into the other part too, huh? So also Jared Allen. I know we're gonna talk about him in a minute. I'm not saying I didn't think he was like that. I'm just saying he showed he was a franchise. He's a perfect rim running franchise big. He does the things that MJ talk about very, very well. He can test shots. He grabs rebounds. He can defend his position. But most importantly, if a little guy switch out with him, he does a pretty good job of moving his feet. Does a pretty good job of recovering. Hey man, look, them is just 3 players. I'm just gonna name 3 because I didn't name a team. But there was 3 guys that I've been watching. I've been like, hey, I like this.
Trav, early season surprise.
Hey man, I got a close up and personal last night with this dude, but I seen a couple of comments about this guy that he's putting in major work. He'd have been cut a couple of times, but he's finding his opportunities in Houston and he is taking advantage of it, man. Christian Woods is a real legit ball player. He's been cut. He's the epitome of what a dog's supposed to be as far as you get cut. It don't matter. You still going after him. You get beat. All of a sudden, you find a right situation. And next thing you know, you got somebody that's supposedly the number 1 player in the world telling a veteran you need to check this man. Hold him accountable. He's the real deal. Christian Woods showed me that in plenty of games, and I really seen it last night. I mean, dude, he blocking shots, he's making shots, he's doing everything for his team to win, man. I mean, Houston is what 5-6, 4-6. I mean, can this trade show off a new person to
he was a free,
somewhat of an elite ball player?
He was a free agent signing, Trav.
It doesn't matter what he is.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like from him.
I know, but dude hooping right now.
What it shows you, and I think the bubble kind of started this, fellas, and definitely everybody jump in, is we're now seeing that there are more than just a few hoopers in this league. And that now this is about opportunity. And you look at somebody like Christian Wood, undrafted free agent, been on a couple teams as Trav talked about. And now you pull up your NBA stat leaders, and there he is at almost 24 points a game.
It's opportunity. And it's so ironic that you talk about opportunity, because I told people 2 years ago, this is a 94, I told you so. I told people 2 years ago that Chris Boucher is real. I told people this, and nobody listened. Maybe I was too early. I'm sorry if I'm too early, because I see certain things. I know what translates to the NBA. And the one thing that people don't really grasp and understand is that the NBA is not picking a person for basically what they think they can do. They're picking a person to what they feel like they already can do. That's the big difference. Because it's plenty of times I could go into a training and hit 100 threes, but it don't translate to actual basketball. And you could invest in me like, okay, I know you've done it before. I'm just waiting for you to do it. No. At some point, you have had to have shown that. Chris Boucher, MVP G League, averaged 4 blocks, 25 points, 11 boards. All he needed was minutes. Last 3-4 games, he got minutes, putting up 25 and 11, putting up 27 and 13, putting up crazy numbers. But we already knew this was going to happen because he is a center that moves like a small forward and can stretch the floor, shoot threes while blocking shots for you. It was just a matter of time. It was a matter of time. And yeah, they're not winning, but it will get there.
And like my man told Shaq last night, you're not a casual.
You're a casual.
You're a casual.
He other than casual, but MJ, you're not a casual. This is why you was able to pull that receipt, and I told you so on, because you're not a casual.
I think with you look at someone like Jeremy Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Grant almost 25 points a game.
Easy.
25 points a game, 8 rebounds, playing both ends of the floor. And I think this is a lesson, I think, fellas, and I'll get y'all opinion on this, is that we get so hung up, and rightfully so, because we're hoop heads. We get so hung up on draft position. We get so hung up on lottery, mid-lottery, second round. And if you look at what's happening in the league right now, look at the guys who were drafted low or not drafted at all and what they are. Look at Jimmy Butler, last pick in the first round. Christian Wood, undrafted. Jeremy Green, second round pick. Van Fleet, undrafted. Jokic, second round pick. The man Draymond, second round pick. There are so many guys in this league right now where draft position be damn. Can you play? Can you play? And I think that bubble to me was like the Pandora's box for this league. Because now you're seeing everybody on full display. Same thing now with this league with no fans. No fans in the crowd. It's wide open.
Pandemic equals revelation.
Mm-hmm.
It put everybody on the same platform in the same wavelength. Now we're going to see who you are. The pandemic is the reason why 94 started this. We using the exact same platform that your favorite sports stations and radio stations and podcasts are using. I mean, they may have, a nice little sponsor logo in the bottom right-hand corner, but we're using the same thing now.
Yeah.
So now, if it's just gonna be about contact and about knowing what you know or about knowing how to play, if that's all that this is about, oh, we take the Hollywood stuff out now. Now it's just about hoop. Oh yeah, now you got Clubber Lane vibes.
It's all. But it's like those cats that you named, though, Big Shot. A lot of them, we talking 3-4 year dudes. You know, where they love the youth. They love to go get you when you're 19. You know, and come get you and make you a cornerstone. Make you a cornerstone, a franchise cat. Works for some, not for all. Some probably to the level, they might get to certain levels of it, but may not hit that, level of superstardom because that's not for everybody. But that don't mean that we don't have legit talent.
Yeah.
It's doing their thing.
I think the depth of talent in the league
Mm-hmm.
is at an incredible place.
Right.
Just the number of players that you have. Like everyone is legitimate, but you literally have like 200 to 250 guys where you're like, damn. It's a lot of it's 2 or 3 on every team, even your worst team. Got 2 or 3 on them.
And
that's what we asked for.
And with these guys like the Bouchers and the Woods, and hey, I'm gonna put my guy Jokic there, and I'm gonna put the young Rook off in there. I'm gonna put my Rook from Golden State.
Yeah, put him in there.
Notice all of these guys' versatility as far as stretching out the floor. Hey, that's what this new NBA is all about. Being able to use the agility and the height and your size to get in there and bang and stretch it out.
But Trey, you've been saying it the last 5 years, especially with cats of that length, you got to be able to do it on both ends. You really got to stretch out on the perimeter.
I've been saying it. I've been saying it for so long.
I've been saying that for so long, bro. Just straight up.
It's crazy. Now, speaking of Christian Wood on the Rockets, we had the big trade. I'm late to the party on this. So I'm going to just give my quick thoughts, and then we're going to talk about, I'm going to go over the germ with the other teams and how it affects them. So I'm going to tell y'all, the worst news for the NBA was today. Was Kyrie out of quarantine. That was the worst thing that could have happened. Yes. And I talked about this in 94 Feet of Light. The depth of the roster is a concern to me. But, fellas, when you can put 3 of the best 12 in the world on the floor at the same time, you roll the dice and we see what happens. You can tell me about the 2011, the Heat, I get all that. You could put them 3 dudes on the floor, and if everything is right, everything stays cool with Kyrie, and they get adjusted. Clip this up. I know y'all like to clip stuff and receipt it. As long as they are healthy, they are winning the NBA championship as long as they are healthy.
Wholeheartedly agree.
I said it. It's January 15th, 2021 at 3:53 p.m. Eastern. If they are healthy, they are winning it. Thank you. That's it. As long as all 3 of them dudes are together, they are winning this.
Thank you, Big Shot. I appreciate you for saying that.
Who are you going to guard? That's my question for everybody. Not for us, because we know what it is.
Rob MJ explained the concept. If you need 4 people to guard 2 people on the floor, and you still got 1 more left that can do what he wants, and that you need 3 people to guard, only 5 people can play.
Hey, J-Ham, Germ, Trav, we talk about this simple math. Ain't but 5 people on the floor, and you need 7 to guard them 3. So you about 2 people short. And that is my very, very simple take on that trade. They are healthy in the playoffs. They are winning this.
I gotta hear from my guy Jerm, man. What do you think?
Now, Jerm, I'm gonna kick this to you. You can give me your last thoughts on the Brooklyn trade. And I know, Jerm, you are all about real estate. And Jerm is all about people moving to places and how it fits them. So, Jerm, last thoughts on the trade, and then how it affects these other people.
I thought Brooklyn was going to win regardless. That's just my humble opinion. I thought the depth that they traded was incredible. Like Taurean Prince is a 3-level scorer in this league. Let's make sure we know his name. Like Jared Allen is a problem around the basket. Carusic can do everything. We've seen it. What is it more that you needed to see? I don't understand. Like what's going on. Karis LeVert. I'm naming him last for a reason. Karis LeVert has shown he can be a focal point of an offense for stretches.
Yeah.
He showed he can even have a team, low key, with the bubble situation.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that y'all thought? Y'all thought that because this team broke up the depth, like, I understand the depth purposes and stuff what people say, but it's a lot of things that James Harden does that Karis doesn't do from a hooper standpoint. Meaning James Harden can shoot 15 shots, but also shoot 15 free throws. That changes everything. That's literally like saying so shouts out to people who try to say negative things about players, because in this situation, you can't say nothing negative about James Harden and Kyrie Irving. Those are you got 3 of the 5 best scoring players on the same team. All of them shoot 88+% at the free throw line. All of them shoot 35 to 40% at the 3-point line.
40.
All of them can make. I'm just trying to be modest.
Don't.
All of them can shoot 50% from the field. All of them can play off the ball, with the ball, or in the screen and roll.
You're asking.
And then one of them is 7 feet.
Okay, hold on. Before you say that, Ron, this is what bothers me the most. For the people who are saying, well, how they go play defense? Motherfucker, have you been watching the game the last 5 years? Nobody plays defense.
Here's your stat.
That's what the zone is for.
No, here's your stat for the day. Here's one of your stats for the day. The leading defensive team in this league on points per game is the Cleveland Cavaliers at 104. Half the league gives up 110 or more. As Warren Sapp said on his interview with Shannon Sharp, it's an Autobahn in the middle of the field. This is a scoring league.
This is a scoring sports society.
This is not 1997. This is not 2001. It is a
big shot, man. Tell these folks what it is, man. These folks' feelings is too much involved in their judgment of play of these teams playing. These folks don't like Kyrie, but Lord have mercy, y'all gonna see this man together with this dude on Sunday.
Hey.
Yeah.
And let me just explain this.
MJ, please take it away before I say anything else. I ain't
getting that.
We come right back to you.
I got you. Go. Let that man cook.
Because you know when I get agitated, I go in. Let me explain something, y'all. And I don't care how great of a defensive team you are. If you give an NBA team 110 possessions, they are going to find 100 points. What part of that don't y'all understand? Stop saying they're not playing defense when the game has gotten faster and people have understood the fact that I would rather shoot this ball within 12 seconds than try to execute a perfect offense and turn it over.
And let me add to that. No hand checking is going to slow any of that down when you have people who do not have to turn their back to be hand checked.
And especially in the case of these three, when you have Kevin Durant, arguably, the greatest 7-foot ball handler we've ever seen.
Thank you.
You have Kyrie Irving, maybe the greatest handler we've ever seen.
Ain't no maybe.
Cool, ain't no maybe. And then you have a guy in James Harden who, for whatever you want to say about his style, etc., is an all-time great offensive player.
One of the best.
Like when
Top 5 shooting guard ever.
He's one of the greatest
going
we've
that far.
ever seen. No, John, you're correct. Top 5 shooting guard, and that's being modest.
That's
Ever.
really being modest. Because even the stuff that we may be critical of his style, but it's a lot of cats that love to play that style, but they couldn't even do what he did with it.
And think about what happens, fellas, come playoff time. Number one, James Harden's in better shape. Number one. That 30 pounds that y'all tripping on now, we'll wipe that by April. So we can get rid of that. So even if their offense breaks down completely, they have a complete breakdown. You know what they can do in the shot clock? They can give it to one of the 3 best one-on-one players this league has ever seen and say, go.
Go.
And say,
that's the thing that people do not see. Everybody is just like, oh, they got to do this or they got to jail or whatever. You got 3 of the best one-on-one players of all time on one team.
3.
Listen, all they got to do.
Put up to 3 one more time.
All they got to do. The only thing they got to do is be healthy at the playoffs.
All they got to do.
That's the only thing they got to do.
They don't need
the first seed. They don't need the second seed.
And big shot. All of them are proven. KD has 2 rings. Kyrie has a ring. James Harden was literally a Chris Paul hamstring away from possibly having a ring.
Y'all in trouble.
Come on, man.
Hey,
but again, individual defensively. Do y'all remember what KD was doing in Golden State defensively? He guarded 4 positions. Do y'all remember what James Harden was doing defensively when they put him on the island against KD against Houston? He had a couple of cookies, and KD was not scoring easy on him. Do y'all remember how Kyrie guarded Steph? It was a few times he took that ball from him. Let's stop talking about the fact that y'all think these dudes can't play D because they choose not to play D because they need that energy to play offense. They don't need the energy anymore.
I'm going to dig even deeper. KD to serve both Bron and AD head-to-head in the playoffs. Yep. The same playoff. He to serve both of them.
Jerm, I'm going to swing this back to you. I know you like to find people home because I'm going to tell you this now. Lakers, Clippers. I'm talking specifically to you.
Need more people.
Brother.
We need more people. We need more people. Shut up.
They say PJ Tucker is on the block. Make a call.
Need somebody.
Let's start here.
Jerm, I'm gonna hit this over to my man Century 21.
So let's just start. Let's start right here. First thing, Lakers, y'all did all of this stuff. Now I understand Marc Gasol gets all my respect in the world. He is a great basketball player.
That's my guy. But
he ain't playing in no series with none of these dudes that you gonna have to be going up against. He can't play against Joker in a series because Joker too saucy. What you gonna do? Have AD come over and help? So you know what that means? That means it's gonna be somebody in that corner, and it could be Bo. We never know. It might be my guy.
Germ is the Ohio president of the Bull fan.
Hey, that's my guy.
I rock with Bo.
Hey, you can't. Hey, because at the end of the day, it's either him or Michael Porter Jr. that's probably going to be in that corner at that particular spot. And you got to think about those type of things. Then the Clippers. The Clippers, realistically, is a game I would love to see with all these teams healthy in the finals because they have the people to guard the perimeter.
Yeah.
And with Serge and DJ, all of them matchups across the board, sign me up. Let's do it.
The Lakers and the Clippers both now. If I'm them, We need at least one more piece.
Need one more piece. I was about to say,
If the
what-
Clippers
wanna
need a
know
piece,
something?
the Clippers need a point guard.
Go ahead, Trav. Go ahead.
You want to know something? It's two people. One of them gonna have to break up something, and the other one just gotta go because it just ain't no hope where he at. CJ McCullough and Bradley Beal, y'all got to come on down somewhere. Y'all got to. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They got to come on down. If Bradley can go to LA, LeBron would love it. If Bradley can go to the other LA, they will love it. CJ McCullough is in that same boat too.
I wish that what your auntie and uncle in Bel Air. Now listen, I'm with you, Trav. I'm with you. At the end of the day,
Ain't gonna
the
happen.
Clippers
Ain't
not gonna be able to do it because the Clippers gonna have to give up something, and they don't have nothing really that they can really give up.
Yeah,
Pat Bev ain't gonna be able to stay on my floor. The Lakers' issue is the Clippers' issue is Pat Bev ain't gonna be on the floor. Kyrie gonna have him on the bench by 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on the Kyrie because he gonna cross that man out and he gonna be it's like that. Hey, you that bag is different, MJ. I'm sorry, I had to pull it out because that's what's gonna happen.
Karaoke.
Yes.
I'm taking him to karaoke tomorrow. We about to record, man.
But that's where we at. The Clippers is just one of those teams you want to see. But overall, the Lakers is probably going to have to get another wing guy that they can play, preferably at the 2, because that's going to be where the position you're going to have because you still got Menace, who I think is a good player, who he's going to be able to play in the series. Menace is a good one. AD and LeBron, of course. Your def lineup is going to be AD, LeBron. But are you going to say KCP and Wes Matthews is enough? The answer to that question is no, it's not.
And I ain't gonna say it ain't enough. I won't say that's enough. But you've seen how they get down when it's time to switch and guard players. That was Miami. They know how to get down.
No
Is
offense.
it enough though? It ain't enough.
They can get
offense.
down.
Guarding Kyrie, KD, guarding Kyrie, KD, and it's different than guarding Jimmy Butler. No offense to Jimmy Butler, it's levels though. And just like how Ham talked about KD and how, AD and LeBron had problems, let's look at Kyrie's catalog of people who had problems with him. He gave Kawhi 57 in San Antonio.
Everybody.
With the toes behind the line with the last second shot falling.
Listen,
did y'all see the
Clay
move?
Everything he can handle. He gave Clay everything he can handle. Clay is a better defender than any wing player on the Lakers team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Montrezl Harrell has showed that he cannot rebound or defend.
Yeah.
So if y'all go put Schroeder on him, okay. It should look. It looks good. Well, maybe it be something.
That's how
it's gonna be on Schroeder. It's going to be on Schroeder because once we get to the actual finals, neither of those teams have a point guard that can do anything with Kyrie. And once we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, if you want to, let's say they go against Milwaukee, who is going to defend James Harden? Because you could put Drew on Kyrie. You could put.
As we talked about, you are a player short.
Everywhere.
Player short.
The whole league.
Player short. Exactly.
Everybody's player short.
Player short.
Everybody player short.
The only team that I think right now has a chance. I'm gonna say a chance with them in the East. And this is a chance. I'm not even saying this is a good chance. I'm just saying this is a chance. Is Boston. The only reason I'm gonna say Boston is because I think, again, a chance. Very clear. Chance. Is that Tatum and Brown offensively can make it interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus Smart is a tough enough defender to deal with Harden or Kyrie, but he can't guard both. So again, you a player short.
Everybody's a player short.
It is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just is what it is. So with that being said, if I'm the Lakers, I'm going to try to find a way to get another guard that does not stand in the corner, preferably and shoot. That's what it is. Because when Wes Matthews come on the floor, he's going to be preferably a guy that's going to shoot. The same thing with KCP when they come on the court. The same thing with Kuz. Kuz can play a little bit more, but that's probably what the Lakers' little piece right there is, that they're going to have to move in order to get something. It's going to be Kuz. So who values Kuz more than they value a wing player that they're going to need? So let's just go. We're going to skip and go to the next phase of this. The next phase of this is the other teams. Rockets. The Rockets got Karusic. They got Exum. They got Oladipo. They got 3 first-rounders from Brooklyn, 1 Milwaukee first-rounder, and 4 Brooklyn first-round swaps. So, Rockets, shout out to you. FC Rockets. Look, y'all got a couple good players.
FC,
got a couple good players.
Houston. FC Houston.
So now they got a couple good players to go along with it. Oladipo and Wall together in the backcourt could be fun. We seen Oladipo with Westbrook, and that wasn't as bad. So we could see a much better one with a guy like John Wall. Go ahead, Big Shot. Then I'll come back in.
I tell you, I think from a contrast of style point of view, obviously Oladipo ain't Brad, clearly. But I think fit-wise, that's decent. I think now you could put if you're the Rockets, you put John Wall at the top of the floor, playing point guard. John is the conductor, getting everybody else going. So it may not result in a playoff appearance this year, but I think it's for Houston. I think it's a better fit. So I don't really dislike Houston's roster. I don't think it's a playoff roster, but I don't dislike what's going on right now.
Me neither.
Really don't.
Nothing wrong with that. After that, Pacers, they get Karis LeVert and a second rounder. Karis, to me, is an upgrade over Oladipo. Younger, more athletic. He can defend his position, but he can defend. But also, the thing I think the most important part is Karis gives you a better player in the pick and roll situation with Sabonis and Miles Turner.
Mm-hmm.
With his ability to keep defenders on his back, with our little crab dribble move, and then our 2-step to the right or to the left and knock down that jumper, that's going to be a big thing that they're going to be able to use, and they're going to win a couple playoff games with this team. I actually like this team better with Karis on it.
I think what it also does, too, is you are now telling young Sabonis, this is your squad.
It's your team.
Which I think he's earned.
We see you and MJ on the same energy.
Which I think he's earned the right to have that. Because he
average 20 and 10.
He is a hell of a player. He is.
And
Jokic light.
No, and I'm so glad you mentioned that, because here's the problem that I personally have with other NBA GMs, because this is how I know this is a money grab for most of these owners, is you guys are so hell-bent on copying what has won that you don't understand that the reason why what one has won is because it is special and unique. So instead of trying to copy what is hot, you should be looking at your roster and building your own entity.
Exactly.
Because if you're able to do that, give me 1 second. But if you're able to do that, if you're able to build your own entity and stop copying, now we're looking at it and y'all can be possibly the Denver of the East.
Yep. Yeah.
Because you're not going to win playing Brooklyn their style. You ain't winning that way. But I'll tell you what, you got a dude that's averaging 4.8 blocks a game, which means he's automatically manning down this paint like a madman. So if you could take the paint away, now you force these guys to only score 2, maybe 3 levels if we're going to count like the deep 30-footer as another level. Now they only can score 3 levels out of 4 if you're able to man down the paint. That gives you a chance, because at least now as a defender, I know when in doubt, if they beat me to the paint, I have somebody that's going to at least try to help me. He may not be successful at all, because again, 4.8 blocks in a 48-minute game in retrospect, it's incredible from a stat standpoint, but in retrospect, you're still going to give up points.
Right. Absolutely.
But if I could create my own entity, then this could be something, because they're already 8-4. It's not like they're already not successful. Malcolm Brogdon is playing off of Sabonis very well. Like I said, Miles Turner has finally settled in the fact that he is going to be Serge Ibaka Part 2. You're going to get this 13-8 come hell and high water. Don't ask me for no more stats out of those two categories. But I'll block a lot of shots for you, though. But don't ask me for nothing else out of that. That's all I got. That's it.
I got you on that.
Just like on Players Club when she was like, I came here to dance and that's it. That's Miles Turner. Stop asking him for more.
Oh, man. Hey, Jeremy, what's going on with Cleveland, man?
Now we got something interesting. So I'm about to give you all this is where it get fun for me because I like looking at real estate, as you said. We got Kevin Love and Andre Drummond at the top of their cap. Then on top of that, you still got so Drummond is the center. Kevin Love is obviously the power forward. You got Larry Nance Jr., who I think should be the guy moving forward in Cleveland. Shouts out to his daddy because he started the whole Nance legacy here. And we got Drummond, who I believe you have to move at some point anyway as well. You got JaVale McGee, Jared Allen on this roster to go along with Larry Nance Jr., and you just brought in, like I said, Allen and Prince. You move these two players, you can fill out your roster very nicely. Prince can play on the wing. He could be your starting small forward while you're getting Okoro together. You don't have any. They have no excuses for me.
We were talking about in the pre-show meeting. We were talking about, and Han was talking about his diabolical zone on 2K on NBA Live 2002. Han, I'm gonna kick this to you. If I'm Cleveland's coach, just for the fun of it, one game, I'm putting McGee, Drummond, Love, Nance, and Jared Allen. He on squad too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting all five of them on the floor at the same time, just for the hell of it. Just for fun.
Who bringing the ball up?
I don't know.
Matter. It don't matter. It's just for
Gabby K. Love.
I would agree. That's cool. He'll get hand checked. He can't come out. He gonna have to turn his back with the defense. You know what I'm saying?
That's why, because he's so wide, you can't reach around his big butt.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool. He might get hand checked because he's not necessarily the most fleet of foot.
Oh no, he's not. But Jerm, to your point, as far as real estate, if making that trade to me signifies that they have officially put Kevin Love and Andre Drummond on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the signal. They are now on eBay, best price. Whoever got the best offer, they're yours for the low price of $9.99 or whatever you're gonna get.
So real quick, I'm gonna give a team for Kevin Love right now.
Yeah, free Kevin, man.
Kevin Love, Cleveland. This is for you. I'm gonna suggest that you look into the Phoenix Suns. Call Phoenix. Get you a veteran wing player. Get you a young Saric, and then try to take one of their young players.
So K-Love for Cameron Johnson and Saric and then expiring.
That's probably going to be your best bet.
Because they ain't giving him Mikal. They're not giving him Mikal.
Mikal's not coming. No, I knew Mikal wasn't going.
You feel like this, MJ, to your point, is the money that Drummond and Love make, you're going to have to take back some bad stuff. It's just going to be how much bad stuff are you willing to take back? Hopefully not too much. But the money them two dudes make is.
Well, here's the good news. If savvy GMing is no longer just defined by doing things one way. We got to remember the reason why this Brooklyn Nets team is built to have all of these big three. Let's remember about 4 or 5 years ago when they was pretty much in basketball purgatory. Sean Marks came in, took all of those bad contracts, said, if this is how we're going to play fast, we're going to shoot threes. I just want you to do what you do best. And eventually they played a style that was intriguing enough for people to look at it and go, huh.
Yeah.
So it won't be the worst thing to be able to take, because you got to think, these dudes had this contract for a reason at some point. So they can't be too trash. It's just they're in a position now in which there's a person that's younger than them that people want, that the team wants to go with, or this person's game no longer fits the style of the current NBA. And that's fine too. Like I look at Paul Millsap. I always talk about Paul Millsap as a guy in which it's like, where did he go after this? Because he's good. He's always going to be an enforcer, but as far as his style goes, he's not fast enough to be a small forward. He's not potent enough offensively to be a power forward. So, and he can hit the three, but you will live with him pretty much shooting threes. He's not going to win a game that way. So you look at those things, there's a lot of guys in the NBA that's like that. Yeah, take those contracts. Y'all not winning anyway.
Trav.
So you gonna holler at San Antonio. There you go.
Trav. Hi, Trav. How you doing, brother? So I got this player named Andre Drummond, right? And, you know, he's a big, and I know that, you know, you say that you really need a big next to left side.
He been saying that for a while.
I mean, hey, captain left side, you might got a guy who could play on the right side. You never know. But I'm asking you, Trav, I mean, what you gonna give me for him? What you got for me? I mean, because you got a lot of small money here. What you gonna offer me? Gin Rummy. We're taking this show on the road.
Small money make big change sometimes.
Hey, well,
and we may have to let DeRozan go. And we can also put in.
That's the energy.
We can also put another. We can let it go. We can let another wing go, because ain't that what Cleveland missing? A true wing.
Hey, so this is just a little just interesting. We doing this on the fly, y'all. Just so y'all know before we get to the Stockholm. DeMar DeRozan, if you did DeMar DeRozan and Drummond straight up, that would almost be even money. You would probably need like one of them little mid-level exception deals, like a Devin Ebanks, and that'll fill out the money.
Damn,
Trav clearly don't care about my fantasy team. He clearly does.
You know what? He
don't care.
I wouldn't do Ebanks. I'd give you Porter.
We don't want him. We need more people.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem. I mean, we'll give you Porter. I mean, y'all love the positioning defense. No, I like defense and athleticism along with it. And that's what Drummond brings along, because they picking on LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus sending them to the freaking rack. I got a man that can hold down, rebound. He can actually pass the ball. He doing what they need.
And that's the reason why I said San Antonio, because San Antonio is the only team that really makes sense for Drummond. Because
I'm tell y'all what, LaMarcus Aldridge in the next 35 and older league, whenever he retires, I don't want no parts.
You don't want none.
He gonna come in here.
It's gonna get emotional.
He gonna come in here with
right side of the court.
He gonna come in here with some size 52 slacks.
Left side Lamar.
Pure three.
Man, banking from 19 feet, and like, why is you shooting from there?
Yeah.
And the only
go home, man.
I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I'm gonna ask you a question, Ham. How would you feel about him in the bluff?
Who are that?
Andre Drummond.
Oh, come on down. That's how we play.
Hey, the one thing I know about my man Jay Ham, and I've known Jay Ham for about 8 years now.
Right.
If you ask Jay Ham about any all-star level player coming to Memphis, he's never gonna say no.
Chief. Come on down. Look, when Mario Chalmers came to Memphis, I was like, yo, what's up? He ain't even at that level, but he's broken.
That's the welcome mat. Jay Ham is the welcome mat.
So
he's broken the city's heart. So it's like, why would we not take this cat? We know he a killer. Who knows better than
we're gonna have to take either Big Valanciunas.
No, you get Jones.
We're gonna have to take that Gorgie Dang trade.
I wouldn't want to lose Jonas though. I actually would want to pair him with Jonas. That's Kane and Taker right there. Devastation Incorporated.
Shout out my man 7 foot Kelsey, man.
Because
hilarious.
Because Jonas plays defense
crazy, man.
He played defense too, and you got them both together. They're better defensive tandem than what you would have had even with Zach and Mark. And Zach and Mark did some solid work here on the defensive end. They actually got Zach to compete on the defensive end.
But this is what makes J Ham a great basketball mind, because unlike most people who will be like, well, they're going to shrink the floor. How are they going to stretch the floor? Ham understands hoop and don't care about none of that. Because you already got a dude who's going to shrink the floor anyway in Ja Morant.
Thank you.
I don't care how many shooters you put around. That floor is going to get shrunk with number 12.
Right.
Also,
Anyway.
Drummond is a very, very good passer as well. So that high-low concept that you'll be able to run with him and Beck Valanciunas, that'll be an interesting little thing and dynamic.
Now, I didn't add into the factor of Jaren returning, and as well, we still got Brandon Clark here too.
That's why that Drummond to Memphis. I mean, it's more than welcome to come and eat some good barbecue, but that ain't gonna be good.
But this is the reason why I think it will be good, because to be honest with you, Germ, you don't have to sell that position so hard, because Drummond is going to be an expiring contract after this year. Everybody should be salivating at the mouth to get that contract, if anything. He comes off the books regardless. So if I'm Cleveland, I don't do anything, because I know $30 million is coming off the books. What do I need to do? I'm chilling. Now, if somebody want to bring something to me in which I probably couldn't get that in free agency, then yes, I will listen. But I ain't knocking on nobody's doors. Y'all got to knock on my door with that one. But I'm in a position now, when you do knock on my door, I have leverage now, and I'm not in a situation in which I got to tell my franchise, which is Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, that I made this deal because of XYZ. Now they understand it, because we got 5 of them big boys here. We're about to get you a wing that could create on his own without you having to force feed everybody or spoon feed him. Okoro was good, but wait till we get a nice stretch four that can guard 3 positions, or get another wing that can guard the 4 position. Now that floor wide open for y'all like the Red Sea.
It's interesting. I think what we're talking about here, y'all, is that this Harden trade ripple effect through the rest of the league now. Everybody else kind of gets you, what they tell you, get your affairs in order. That's what everybody in the league got to do now. Everybody got to get their affairs in order.
Yeah.
Because that black and white express, it's a big light going through that tunnel.
Brooklyn.
Shout out Casanova, shout out Fab, shout out all that. So to end the day, my man J Ham on his main wall brought up Stockholm syndrome. Y'all need to Google the term if you need to.
Feel free.
Ham, talk to the people about basketball Stockholm syndrome, because I'm very intrigued by this topic right here.
It is, especially within this context, we're talking about like a real serious lack of mental evolution as far as what you're seeing this league and how this league grows, moves, shakes, all types of stuff. We're in a league right now where the vast majority of players in this league legitimately have generational wealth lined up for their families. We ain't ever seen that from athletes even 20, 30 years ago. Starting to come, but not at this level. Because we're seeing, mid-tier level guys, 20, 25 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, they're really not thinking on the employee mindset. They're thinking and moving like bosses on and off the floor. And you're seeing a lot of criticism, a lot of ridicule. Well, it's almost like you're getting a real shut up and dribble, shut up and play. You lucky, this, that, and the other. And you getting this from, I expect to get this from white people. Absolutely do. But when it falls on the color scheme that we own, when it matches our tone, as Big Gibb said back in 1995, that's when it becomes disturbing. Because it's like y'all are really so geared into, even with the Kyrie thing. Mm-hmm. I get the part, and we all agree with this, like, yo, somebody, you gonna have to answer to somebody just from the chain of communication, everything there. But did anybody ever think about it from this standpoint? Not saying that it was the case with Kyrie, especially intended for Steve Nash, because Steve Nash is actually more down than a whole lot of black folks for social justice than a whole lot of people of color. That's just the truth. I listened and heard Steve Nash do his thing and talk about that. But it never occurred to anybody where it's like, no, I'm not calling y'all. I'm not going to go through this chain of command. Look, if y'all going to find me for it. I'll pay for it. I'm bossy. But I'm going to go do what I'm going to do. What I feel is in my heart that I need to do right now. Whether that be sit out games, forfeit salary, whatever it is. Even if it calls for a retirement at some point. We got to stop programming and plugging ourselves to think that there's a certain way to skin the cat. And it's not like that no more, y'all. We not at some point we're gonna have more than one majority owner that's a black man at some point in this league. What's the thought process gonna be then? All this ties back over into GOAT conversations, how the game is viewed, how the game has been dumbed down to whether you have a championship or you garbage, you slow, you trash, you're not a number one. I seen Colin Cowherd post a tweet talking about James Harden not being a number one option. James Harden has averaged 35 for like the last 3 years. How the hell is he not number one? Based on what? Well, he wasn't able to do this in the playoffs, bro. They went to the playoffs 8 straight years in Houston. Dream didn't even do that. Don't believe me? Look it up. So where does it end though? And I know MJ got a clip.
I think we have. You talk about what you're talking about, Ham, and all that was brilliantly explained. I just think we as basketball fans, as much as we say we are for the player, we're for the players to a point.
To an extent.
To an extent.
And don't let it be a situation where it's already, you don't like this dude. This is why I ask the question every year. Hey, who y'all like?
Who do you like? I just think today's player has so much more. And Ham, you talk about boss, you talk about the money, you talk about the boss moves. But more importantly, today's player has so much more control.
Absolutely.
Than what the previous generation had. It's control.
Tag me.
I'm gonna tag you. Give me 10 seconds because y'all had a head start on me Wednesday. But I'm gonna get you. I really think it's an issue of, to use the old. I'm not even gonna use that as a phrase. Players got control. When you talk about things like knuckleheads, all smoke, I am athlete, they control the message, they control the method, and quite frankly, my pockets are big enough that you can't even threaten me with money. You can't threaten me. Kyrie Irving's total fine is $870,000. He got that underneath his couch.
He gave that away last summer in charity.
He gave that away. That's nothing. So I just think as much as, especially with you talk about us as fans, have to adjust that vision. These dudes have all the control.
And that's where they really get power.
They have the control.
Yeah.
They got it.
I got it. And that's where people getting bothered though, Big Shot. That's the funny part.
And I think that's what bothers people because in their own 99% of the people in this country don't have that type of control.
Have that kind of
Get
the tag champs involved.
Germ, MJ, there's the tag. Boom. Go ahead.
I want Germ first because once I do this, y'all gonna want to wrap the show up once I talk.
Germ, go ahead. Let me hit the leave meet button right now. Hold on. I'm good.
So, first and foremost, let me start at the top. if the NBA players were equivalent to something, they will be equivalent to you, which are the fans who work for everybody else for the 9 to 5s. We're going to set this up properly. The GMs and the owners, those are the people who are the corporation owners, the people who own the companies that you work for, and everything else like that. The same owners that we're talking about right now on both ends, the players / employees, have more power than they understand that they have. Because if everybody came together on one platform, one forum, and stood together as a group, as teams, guess what would happen? It will force the owner to listen to some of your gripes about the work conditions. It would force your owners to work more toward being more people friendly or employee friendly. Because guess what they need in order for them to make money? You. So we're mad at players for saying that they got the power because they have been employed to play basketball in front of y'all, for y'all to only pay a cable bill that also comes in and pays for them as well. And you're mad that your regular job is not something that you may love in most cases. And then they get paid to love to play basketball. In retrospect, with all of that, you mad that those players came together. Those players have built a bond. Those players have built a brotherhood. And those players have capitalized on the fact that they have all of the power, because without them, there is no product. So let's take that whole thing and let's wrap it up and put it into one big underlying statement. Regular people or employees are mad that the other set of employees have shown the blueprint to what it really is, but y'all don't know how to execute it because y'all don't pay attention to the things that are in front of you. You don't pay attention or know what your actual value or your power is. So now you mad at somebody else for empowering themselves, understanding their power, or respecting their time, their energy, their efforts in life. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call is a bitter syndrome. Dr. Germ going to break it down for y'all today. This is a constant thing I see with people, is where the reoccurring habit is. We're going to consistently hate the people who have the things or have the goal or who have the ambition or have the self-respect, over really just looking in the mirror and pointing at ourselves and saying, you can do this too.
I agree. I agree.
MJ, the floor is yours.
Y'all ready for this? I put my stopwatch on to make sure I don't go far or go over. I literally clicked the stopwatch.
We already over an hour. So
all right, let me stop it then. I stopped the stopwatch.
We only 2-3 minutes over the hour.
We will probably cut this show in half. This is gonna be a 2-part show. We'll cut it in half. It's fine. MJ, go.
All right, so let me first address everything that everybody said. I'm in 100% in agreement with all of you guys said. All of you guys made incredible points. The one thing that we have to do, the one thing that I have learned when I had to therapize myself, if that's a word. When I went to self-therapy because I couldn't afford therapy.
Just call it looking in the mirror, brother.
When I had to look in the mirror, when I had to, go through accountability and ask myself those tough questions. After I asked those tough questions, the same question came back. Where did this start? So when we talk about this, we have to understand where all of this has started from. And I say I'm 30% Hotep because I'm not full Hotep, because I wholeheartedly believe that despite the hand that we as Black people have been dealt, we're special and great enough to be able to still overcome. I also am not full Hotep because I've met people of all different types of races that show love, that show compassion, that show respect, and show empathy. So for those, I still love you guys like brothers and sisters. I have no issue, no gripes, and no beef with you. Hence the reason why I say 30. With that being said, let me tap into that 30. Since slavery, this has been the mentality. Y'all need to talk about these GOAT discussions. This GOAT discussion started because ever since slavery, the master has done an incredible job of only picking one person to give favorable treatment to, which allowed the other ones to hate and ask, why can't I get that treatment? It was one person that got the extra coat, that got the good scraps, that was able to get into the house and play the piano for the guests. One that everybody loved. And sometimes he was light skinned, which is probably why y'all hate Steph Curry. But then, if y'all want to go there, y'all can't just say it's light skinned because a fellow by the name of Michael Jordan, they put their arm around as well too. Which I might add, don't he own a team in the NBA? Okay, just checking. I want y'all to hold that one for a second. Bringing it back though. We have been fundamentally brainwashed to think that it is not enough for all of us. And that's why we hate it. Y'all want to talk about great and who's the greatest? Motherfucker, if you make it to the NBA, you are great. 450 out of millions of people who dream this. I don't care about who's the greatest. You make it there, you're great. If you get paid to play the game of basketball, you are great. If you are a black man that had to overcome all of this bullshit and you are still sitting here successful and able to tell your story and not be a person that says, remember, like the George Floyds of the world, the Trayvon Martins of the world, you are great. I don't want to ever hear another black man tearing another black man down for competitive reasons, chasing some shit that already belonged to us. I'm sick of it. Ain't no fucking GOAT. We all GOATs.
That's the part that was annoying me, man. Because I'm seeing this from black dudes more than not even the sisters.
But once again, I hear all that you saying, but the crabs in the barrel technique. Do we blame the crabs or do we blame the barrel? They ain't supposed to be in the barrel to begin with.
Oh, to be there, right?
We ain't supposed to be there anyway. So how can I blame the crabs who are not even in the environment they're supposed to be in? How can I blame them? They're supposed to be in the ocean.
We are so, I ain't gonna say we, because I think we here at 94, we try to not be this way, but I think you talk about J-Home, not as a Stockholm syndrome, bitter syndrome. I think people are just so programmed into what mainstream media tells you is how you're supposed to shake and move.
But who created the mainstream, Ron?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying, no, that's
the same people.
And I think we are so programmed to that when anybody goes outside of that, they've all of a sudden become the target.
Y'all want to know what's funny? The Kyrie portion of it, which we've all charted since the summer of 2017, when Jerm told us that the trade was looming, and once the trade happened, and once we saw the LeBron contingency and apologists that anything for all things Kyrie, it was all things negative coming from that contingency. I'm on a debate on that same Stockholm Syndrome post on my wall, one of my guys, and I actually got him to admit that was the reason why he was going that guy at this.
Absolutely.
Because he was caught into this fact of, well, I said, you was upset about the Braun trade, huh? That's really what it is, man. I said, no. Look at all.
And what's funny about it.
Let's try again.
Go ahead, Trey.
Hey, we talked. I ain't finna stay too long on that. But did we not talk about this the other day? I mean, in 1984, David Stern took over. And what was David Stern's objective to change the game?
Market the players.
Market the players. Now, are y'all gonna sit up here and argue with a dead white man now? Where was this energy at in 1984? Right. 85, 86, 87 to now. Where was this energy at? Y'all keep on letting this media drive your minds into thinking the way you want to think. You're gonna look stupid out here.
Especially when that same media comes from the DNA and the forefathers of people who automatically feel like they are fundamentally better than us because of the color of their fucking skin.
Thank you. And when they came back, and I kept reminding people of this, I'm like, y'all remember in the summer when the things came out in the bubble and they was talking discussion wise, and Kyrie was like, yo, one of the things that Kyrie was saying is that, yo, we should start our own league. This is why. Why are we going to continue to put ourselves in positions to where we're lining these people's pockets who are paying these politicians and everyone else that are pretty much throwing these barriers and roadblocks against us?
And shout out to Kim Richardson because she went on 94 Feet of Light post, said that she was disappointed in what Jackie stated. Can somebody pull up when Jackie was born? And then ask yourself, is this really surprising?
Let me pull this up real quick, but I'm almost guessing we're in the late 50s.
I think it's programming. I think it's all of that. Because even we talked about, people were mad at Kyrie for wanting to leave LeBron. But the flip side of that argument is that LeBron, for whatever you want to say about LeBron fans and all that, that dude has made all this, not by himself.
Oh no,
but he's a big reason why it's like this.
Yeah,
big reason why it's like this, because
and I salute him for that.
I salute him for that because he basically cut out that I will control every aspect of my career on and off the floor. Nobody gonna be able to do anything about it.
And Jackie McMullen was born 1960, so she's in her 60s right now.
Appreciate it. Now, I'm not going to even give it no more energy after that. I'll let y'all be the judge from there. And now, the funny thing about this is the same LeBron that we revel in is the same Jordan for his last 2 or 3 seasons who started to understand the business and understand, wait a minute, they are getting over on me something serious. I got to overcharge for what they did to the Cold Crush. So if you look at 1997, salary. Look at 1998, salary. Part of the reason why they broke up this team because they knew that they couldn't keep paying them numbers.
The only dynasty that ever be broken up in that fashion.
People forget in 1999, a lockout happened.
Right.
What you think the lockout happened for? That reason.
Hey,
the superstar, the GOAT, realized, wait a minute.
And this is
y'all getting a lot.
And then the second lockout happens because why? In part because of what?
LeBron realizes power.
We tired of paying 6-7 year max contracts.
We go shorten it to 4 or 5. Okay.
But the brilliance of this generation.
When we don't catch in the watch, we're gonna catch in the rents.
Oh, y'all don't want to give us no long-term money? Cool. We'll just leave every 2 years. If we just leave, we will find another one of y'all to pay it.
Because y'all will.
And then on the rent side, the TV deal, which was struck and landed because of the players, which is what, $2 billion a year, which the players get 49% of that. Everybody got raised. This is why we had the salary structure that we had.
And then if we want to rewind this all the way back to the 60s or the 70s, where Oscar Robertson filed a lawsuit against the NBA saying y'all are not treating us fairly. Why do y'all think the people don't talk about Oscar Robertson as the GOAT? Why do y'all think that?
Hey,
let me take this 30% hotep off. I'm going to take this off because I'm going to keep going if I keep seeing it.
No, we're going to cut the show in half. Whatever we stop today, this going to
I'm just going to change my name because I can keep going. I can keep going.
We know one person that don't like Oscar Robertson.
Oh, yeah, we know. Shout out. Shout out, man, worldwide.
Hey, but I met Oscar Robertson too, and the energy was the same. The dude is very disgruntled. He's very mean. He's very, angry. But I understand why.
And not just
imagine hooping something that you love to do in the 60s.
And not just because he looked like Samson off Half Baked either.
No.
Get mistreated.
I just feel like fans, are gonna have to get on board with the fact that these players in this league, I can't speak for Major League Baseball. We know the NFL they ain't got it. We know NFL ain't got it. But in this league that we watch, the players they say it's no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Right now, the players got the gun.
Players
Hey
got
man,
that right.
the program is too embedded in a lot of these people in order for them to understand.
They don't.
You know how the program is this embedded? It's so embedded that a group of people thought it was cool to break into the Capitol. That's how embedded it is over a loss that was a fair loss.
It was a fair loss that y'all moving off blind energy.
We ain't
and acts out when they're labeled what anybody else will be labeled if anybody else did that, which is a terrorist.
So let's hold on, fellas. We're
gonna stop it right there because we gonna get way.
I know we're gonna stop it right there. But I want to say this to make sure because I want to clarify what my two guys just said here. We ain't even gonna say because it was a fair loss. We just gonna say because people are sore losers.
Yeah,
it don't need to be nothing else that need to be said. It don't matter if you think something corrupt happened. It don't matter what it is. It can't listen. At the end of the day,
you lost.
You lost.
If
y'all talk about LeBron all the time and y'all do the hypotheticals and everything else, when LeBron lose, bro, listen, I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna end it. I promise. When LeBron lose, it's a whole bunch of hypotheticals. So LeBron contingency, you're no different. When this person lose over here, this person lose over here, y'all defend that. You're no different. Every time somebody loses something and y'all are apologists for their loss and it's a bunch of excuses and a bunch of bitter nonsense, you are part of the problem. So I don't want to hear y'all pointing the fingers because that is, again, the Spider-Man meme of, this group. Y'all all do the same thing. And then y'all expect different results. Y'all do the same thing.
Insanity.
When y'all, it don't even make this ain't even insanity. This is ignorance.
No, that's the definition. You just said the definition.
This is retarded. Like, this is stupid. Like, bruh, LeBron fans, y'all can't go and talk about nobody. If you are a LeBron apologist, you do the same thing that you are talking about right now with the situation with the Capitol. Sore loser syndrome is what I'm about to call it. Stop.
And where did it come from, Jerm? Where did it come from, Jerm?
Man, can't nobody take a L. These
Where
folks
it come from?
Lack of accountability.
Where's the root of that?
The root?
In the Confederacy.
This country was built on it. The country was built on this. That's what happened. That's what happens when you build a country on lack of accountability. You have a bunch of people who are not accountable. All right, Ron, that's yours. I'm sorry.
So
I ain't got nothing else to say, man. I'm finished.
So I'm gonna tell you how we're gonna do this. The Stockholm Syndrome portion of the show will be its own show. So super producer MJ, because MJ, apart from being 30% Hotep, has also now become an incredible producer, editor. Hey, if you are a young basketball prospect, and you need some highlights cut up, our man MJ cut them up for you. So we're gonna release this joint in 2 parts. Stockholm Syndrome will be its own episode.
It's a revolution
by itself. So remember, if you follow us on Twitter, SCEN_THE is the Twitter, THE.SCEN is the Instagram, 94 Fear Life is the Facebook group, Big Shot, J Ham, Trav, Germ, MJ, basketball for the people, by the people,